Hello, everybody. It's Harry. This is Keep It Real, a review show of movies, TV shows, and music. This is my continuing coverage of The Last of Us Episode 2. I did a quick video last time in my car for Episode 1. This time I took some notes that I'm going to try to stick with some more details of the episode since there was a lot happening, but not a whole lot. If you played a game, you'll know everything that was about to happen. The only difference between the game and what's going on with the TV show is that they're giving more detail. Obviously, if you're playing a game, things happen real fast, and you can't make a TV show on that, and you have no character development. But they're pretty much overall sticking with the theme of the video game and the plot of the video game. So here we go. The episode starts off with some background of where the infection started from, or one of the sites where the infection started from, and the Indonesian government found a doctor in Jakarta, Indonesia, and they wanted her to check out a woman that was infected, and then that spread the infection to certain people on a farm. They asked her, can they develop a vaccine? She said, for this type of infection, there is no vaccine. The only way you could destroy this type of infection is to bomb the place. And she was distraught about it. And I'm assuming this is what they were trying to go for, to try to tell us that this was in the past. So in present day, they're trying to give us a background of how people dealt with the infection by there was no vaccine, so what they had to do was bomb and kill everybody that was infected. That was kind of like a little background story of it, which is nice. Uh, Basically, the episode continues the story of Joel, Ellie, and Tess trying to bring Ellie to the Fireflies. Tess and Tess and Joel are smugglers, and they were hired by the Fireflies to bring Ellie. They don't know why, but they just have to smuggle her to the rest of the Fireflies. So that was the end of episode 1. This is a continuation of that, and they run into more of the infected that were on the ground. They start to develop more of how the infected communicate with each other, which is, I'm not sure if they had this in the game, but they're saying that once you're infected and on the ground, the infected can communicate with each other through their roots, and somehow like a plant can communicate with each other. Like if you're a mile away and if it's a network of roots, and if one infected is hurt, the rest of the infected will feel it or know about it. I'm not sure if they did that in the game or not because I don't remember anything like that. It's an interesting take on it, but it is what it is. Let me see. Once again, if you play the game, you'll know that Ellie is immune, and obviously they're trying to take Ellie to the Fireflies because the fact that if she's immune, she will have antibodies and she'll be the cure. And they haven't said that yet, but spoiler, this whole thing is a spoiler, but if you play the game, I played the game, so Ellie is she's the cure, and that's why they're trying to bring her to Firefly. They're trying to play it up, the way the show is going, and it's fine. They're slow pacing it. They're trying to do character development, and it's fine. It's good. Joel, Tess, they were blocked off by the infected on the street, so they decided to cross through the Boston Museum, where we finally saw how an infected person looks like. I personally thought that it was okay. I didn't think they looked that good. They try to stick with practical effects to save on the CGI, I guess, but hopefully later on they employ some more CGI for the infected, because these guys with the practical masks, they kind of look silly. They try to mask it by shaking the camera so you don't focus too much on the infected, but they didn't look that good, in my opinion. But everyone has their own opinion about it. But the quick motions of the camera try to hide the fact that they were trying to be budget, conscious. Was apparent. But let me see. Obviously, if you played the game, you know what's gonna happen with Tess. Tess gets bitten through the encounter with the the infected in the museum. By the time Tess, Ellie, and Joel reach the Fireflies, they notice that there's no one around. They go inside a building where they think that the rest of them are, and they see that someone got infected and killed everybody. There is where Tess says, Joel, you have to take Ellie on your own, because she reveals that she's infected. If this was the game, this would have happened in episode 1. Instead, we have a longer, we have more of Tess. But obviously, she's infected. She's not going to survive. So instead, Joel shoots one of the infected that's on the ground, and somehow the network of roots signals the other crowd or horde of infected they're coming to get them. Tess decides that the best way for Ellie and Joel to make it out of there is to stop them. So she knocks over a whole barrels of gasoline, and by the time the infected does show up, Tess blows everybody up, herself included. So this gives Joel and Ellie a chance to escape. That's how the episode ends. And I thought that was a good way of doing it, because in the game, I don't think Tess did anything. She just says she's infected, and I think Joel and Ellie just leave her behind, if I can remember. I haven't played a game in a while, but that's what I do remember. I think that they just leave her behind, which is kind of anticlimactic. This way she has like a hero send-off, I guess. The main reason why Tess and Joel are smuggling Ellie is because they just want to get a battery. They need a battery, I think, for a car, so they could escape the quarantine zone. I forgot about that. That's the main reason why they're doing this whole thing. They're just trying to. They're smugglers, so they're always trying to get something out of it. And this run is to get a battery that they were promised, so they could get out of the quarantine zone. Now the story of Ellie and Joel is going to develop, because they're on their own and they're going to have to survive. Obviously, Joel lost his daughter, so now they're going to develop a bond, Ellie and Joel, and we're going to see how that turns out, which is what I've been waiting for. So far, I'm liking the show. It's a slow build, which you expect from a TV show. TV series, they have to build the characters, they have to show more than the video game, obviously. So they're doing fine with that. Let me tell you some likes and dislikes I had for the show. It's mostly likes. I don't have a lot of dislikes, but my likes are, I like the world building, because it's very hard to world build in this type of series. The first episode, they went from the flashback to the present, so they took off right away, so it's hard to world build. They're doing flashbacks as to see what happened in the past and what's going on now, so world building is very hard for a series like this, but I think they're doing a pretty good job. And the environment they're showing is pretty on par with the video game, which is, I think, is very important, because we all want to experience how it feels to be in that world. I think that's what it's good. They're giving more detail of how the infections, people how getting infections. They're using how the fungus is spreading through the use of CGI, which is cool. My dislike was, once again, is the practical effects, because the practical effects, you could tell someone's wearing a mask and running around trying to chase them. It was cheesy and low budget. That's one of my biggest complaints. But overall, I thought it was a good episode, and I'm gonna continue watching. It got me hooked already, so I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen, but I want to see how they are gonna develop it. So remember, it's on HBO Max. I think it's on every Sunday nights. It is Sunday nights. I watch it after Sunday nights, obviously, maybe Mondays. But I recommend the show, and hopefully it won't disappoint anybody. But tell me what you think about it. Give a like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.